So this is Protea, our newest Warframe. A Warframe with grenades, a turret, ammo, health and energy dispenser, and the ability to rewind time. She also has a solid quest which was pretty short but fun, and the dialogue between Parvus and Neff is pretty great as well. Definite giggles in there. But how good is the Warframe and where do you get all of her parts? Now I will share what I think of Protea towards the end of this video, but to get your hands on her blueprint you need to run the Deadlock Protocol quest. Then in order to get your hands on her chassis, her system and her helmets, you will need to run the Granum Void missions, which is the golden hand statues on the Corpus ship rework, the ones where you need to get the Granum coin and then kind of interact with it, spend that coin and get warped into the new Void type of mission. So these missions come in 3 different tiers. Each one is a higher level of difficulty and each one will have a different part of Protea in it. So I'll go over these new missions in a different video, but the helmet is tier 1, the chassis is tier 2 and the systems is tier 3. So best of luck getting your hands on all of those parts. Now Protea's passive is that on every 3rd cast of an ability it will increase the power strength of the next cast, so every 4 times, by 100%, which works really well with her abilities. There's some nice synergy in there. There is a meter on the bottom right hand side of your screen to let you know when that passive is at 100%. Combo that with certain abilities to get more benefit out of them. So deal more damage with her turret or with those slash grenades, or gain more shield from the shield grenades that you throw out, or increase the chances of her dispenser dropping extra items. So choose wisely. Now her first ability is her grenade fan. It has 2 different types of grenades. Tap this ability to throw down 3 different slash grenades that will stagger enemies that walk into the kind of, I guess, wispy looking area of effect, the radius, and it will slowly bleed those enemies out bit by bit as well. Now it is nice crowd control, but that's about it. If you're looking for something to completely wipe enemies out, then this isn't the ability. Those slash grenades aren't going to do that. But if you hold the cast down for this ability, she will then throw out 3 different shield grenades that will seek out Protea and the nearest allies and then kind of rotate around them, giving them overshield, replenishing their shields and extending the invulnerability once your shield breaks. So that little window of shield gating that you get. Now throwing out the shield grenades with that 100% passive bonus from every 4th cast is a really nice choice. Her second ability is her Blaze Artillery. It's a really short duration turret that deals heat damage and gives a nice heat proc on enemies as well. Each time a shot lands with this turret, the follow-up shot will deal 50% bonus damage. So if it's down for 5 seconds, then each time a shot lands, it scales up for the next shot until it eventually despawns. Now the damage again from this turret falls off really early on. It doesn't exactly kill high level enemies too easily, and it doesn't scale with enemy level. Now her third ability is her dispensary. This drops ammo, health and energy orbs out throughout the duration that it is down. Health orbs dropped restore 100 health instead of the usual 50. Her dispensary scales with power strength, so more power means that you will have an extra chance to spawn double the item every time it kind of spawns one thing out. So instead of 1 health orb or 1 energy orb popping out, 2 would spawn instead. The same goes for ammo. Again, casting this ability at a time of you having that 100% bonus passive is another good idea. More energy and health orbs for you and your squad. Now her final ability is her Temporal Anchor, or basically her rewind button. Once you cast Temporal Anchor, it will drop an anchor, take a snapshot and record your actions for the duration of the ability once that timer is counting down. It will also store up the damage that you have dealt during that time and release a percentage of that stored up damage as blast damage once the ability has ended, either when the timer runs out and you start rewinding or when you recast the ability to end it yourself early. So basically you can choose when this explosion, when you want it to go off. If you're surrounded by enemies, you can simply recast the ability, an explosion will happen and then you will rewind. All health, ammo and energy from before you cast this ability will be returned to you as well, but if you die while the ability is active, while that anchor is down, you will simply rewind and suffer a knockdown at the end of the animation as if that death never happened. So you'll be lying down on your face instead, where you will be shot by gunners and die anyway. So that's basically Protea's abilities and where you can get your hands on all of her parts. She is a fun Warframe. Her shield grenade and the dispensary are really useful, especially in a squad But if I'm being honest, right, and this is just my opinion, everyone's going to have a different one. You'll either like this frame or you won't. The rest of her kit feels pretty lackluster. Her fort ability, that temporal anchor, can be used in combination with the dispenser to good effect, but honestly that's about it. Her slash grenades do struggle to kill anything above level 50, well, any kind of heavily armoured unit above level 50. They don't scale with enemy level like Vauban's flat jet orbs, so Trainman is still the better engineer, I guess. This is them in action with nearly 340% power strength, completely kitted out against low level enemies, and it takes quite a while to kill them. Now her Blaze artillery, that turret, also has I think a maximum of a 6-second duration. It gives a nice heat proc off on enemies, but outside of that the damage also doesn't scale, so will only be good for applying that proc, that heat proc, at higher levels. Your normal guns with Protea and your melee weapon will be doing all of your killing, or the most of it anyway. On top of that, the explosion from her fort ability, that blast damage of stored up energy or stored up damage that you have dealt, only kind of knocks enemies down. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It is blast damage, and I'm not meaning to be negative on Protea. I actually really like her playstyle, and I could definitely see myself personally putting Umbral Forma on her, but she could definitely do with a tweak here or there to, I guess, bring her up in line with some of the other Warframes in game. These are my builds for the footage. High power strength for the shield grenades, and of course more chances of items coming out of that dispensary, not to mention damage from the slash grenades as well, and the turret. I've got an okay amount of range and duration, of course, for keeping those items active much longer. Of course, mod however the hell you want. Duration and power strength are probably the two main stats for Protea. Once you're having fun, that's the main thing. Let me know what you think of Protea. Like the video or don't, subscribe or don't, and as always, thanks very much for watching.